Hello and welcome to another top level match of Age of Empires 4. I am Paragon RG, and we have a pretty nice match here, Capoch versus Hera. I'm keeping an eye on Capoch. He looks like he's becoming more active on the ladder again, is starting to raise his rank, and he was inactive for a bit. Him and a couple of other Age of Empires 2 players becoming a bit inactive, possibly due to the current state of the game, some certain strategies becoming very, very difficult to deal with, a little too locked into that meta. So some players perhaps waiting for a patch, but Capoch is not doing so, jumping right back into the game. Capoch in the blue in the northwest side of the map, playing as the French. And Hera, also an AoE2 player, committed pretty strongly right now to Age of Empires 4 in the red and the southeast side of the map. And the map is Lipany. What we usually get with Lipany are some ridges, often toward the center of the map, as well as some stealth forests. So looks like these stealth forests may be fairly important to this game. It really looks like the only way to get to your opponent is through those stealth forests. You can't go through the ridge, can't go through this forest, pretty much have to march through here. That's the shortest route. And then it looks like the next shortest route is here. So I'll be interested to see if players take advantage of that as the game goes on. So Capoch playing as the French. He's already on gold. Looks like he'll make sure he gets that 200 gold in the bank as quickly as he can so he can click up to the next age, at which point he will have a choice. Does he want to add scouts with the School of Cavalry he's almost certainly going with? Or does he choose to go right for some Royal Knights right off the top? We'll check back on that shortly. Hera as the HRE. We see that Prelate nicely buffing up villagers. Looks like he might be microing between these two positions. I think I saw some aura disappear on a villager up front by the gold. Also making sure to get that gold as quickly as he can. I always forget, yeah, prelates cost 100 gold, so he needs to make up that deficit. Moving on to Lumber Camp now, so getting onto that wood line. So both players primed pretty nicely to click up to the next age very quickly. Hera a little ahead in food, because of that prelate, and Capoch ahead in gold. So looks like a pretty similar feudal age time coming in for both players, unless one player commits particularly to having quite a few villagers on their feudal age landmark. Hera has 5 villagers on the Aachen Chapel. No real surprise there. Oh, that's Capoch. Looks like he canceled it briefly. Going with the School of Cavalry. Also, no real surprise there. So from me, I would love to see the other landmarks. This is a great example of where the other landmarks would be could be buffed in order to be more useful in more games. The only time we really see the other feudal age landmark from the French, and I'm even forgetting what it is now. It's the one, or rather its name. It's the one that provides a 30% trade bonus. But if that were better, or maybe just more useful on regular old land maps, we would probably see it more often. Instead, the School of Cavalry pretty much considered a no-brainer. Similarly, the Aachen Chapel is just so powerful that building the Minework Palace, I mean, you have to have a pretty good reason to want those slightly cheaper, there's 20% cheaper upgrades. Of course, you don't need the blacksmith as well, so Minework perhaps being used for all-in play, but if your opponent scouts it, they can probably defend whatever you do. So yeah, it'd be great to see those reworked just a little bit. Both of these civs having effectively one choice going toward the feudal age. 4 villagers from Capoch, 5 from Hera, so Hera will get up a little bit sooner here. Okay, so Hera reaches that feudal age, prelate popping into that Aachen Chapel. Oh, what is he building? He was starting to add something, going up with a stable now. Okay, cool. So it remains to be seen if that means professional scouts or perhaps some sort of cavalry harassment. If he thinks his opponent is going to be adding archers, that could be part of the reason. More generally, it looks like Capoch is playing the professional scouts route. Yes, we see that upgrade coming in now from the mill, and scouts coming in from his School of Cavalry, of course, building them a little bit faster, 20% faster than normal. So I'm assuming then this is to compete with scouts. And it is really useful as the HRE Sure, you don't get any bonuses to scout production or anything like that, but every deer carcass you do bring back to within the radius. Let's pop over to Hera here. The radius of that Aachen Chapel, just the bonus is huge, right? Deer already gather food faster than sheep, faster than farms, berries. But with the 40% gather bonus on top of that, it is really, really powerful. All right, so looks like more scouts coming out from Capoch. Nothing too crazy there. He is adding a barracks now. Interesting. So, a barracks now. What does that mean from Capoch? Are we going to see some spearmen pressure from him? He doesn't have access to men-at-arms. So, I mean, this has to be spearmen. What is he doing with them, though? Does this mean perhaps he follows with a blacksmith and we're going to see some siege? Or does he think he can take some sort of important battle, starting out with the hardened upgrade before adding any spearmen? So it looks like he's not in any particular hurry for those spearmen. It is possible he thinks they will help in Scout Wars, maybe help contest some of the deer patches. That being said, it's pretty difficult to stop scouts from actually taking deer on the map. There's no delay in the time that, you know, when you pick up deer, and so it's pretty hard. Like, even if you stand on the deer with your spearmen, scouts can still just run by, take a hit, run back with the deer, and then of course they heal over time as well. Little professional scouts break here. Players competing to grab deer carcasses. Looks like Capoch wins that particular exchange. Hera heads home with 2, despite having 3 scouts. Nothing too crazy to see here. Hardened spearmen, almost, yeah, the way they're being set up. I mean, either they're being hidden, or he's worried about some sort of Grand Theft Venison. Scouts running in and just grabbing all of these. Spearmen starting to head out now, chasing the scouts. I mean, they're not going to catch them. So I'm still somewhat curious about this early barracks play from Capoch. This can potentially slow down Castle Age play, which, I mean, is really good for both of these civs. Maybe better for the Holy Roman Empire in that they get the Regnus Cathedral, which is just so powerful. And maybe the spearmen are an attempt to prevent that in some way. But we now see the blacksmith coming out, so I'm expecting perhaps siege engineering and Capoch to do a feudal push here with the French. On the other side of the map, what is Hera up to? Barracks from him as well, producing spearmen also. Doesn't yet have that hardened upgrade. Still just the stable from him. Tower, or rather outpost, up by his front-facing gold. Quite a few villagers on gold as well. So looking at the resources, Hera is just about to click up to the Castle Age here, and we can see that that early barracks and spearmen slowed down Capoch in getting to that Castle Age by quite a bit. So Hera, with the focus here, let's see if that ends up paying off. And builds a few spearmen before clicking up, which I think is usually the way to go. Going up with that Regnus Cathedral now as well. And again, this is one of these landmarks where I've seen it so many times that I've almost forgotten, like, what is the other... they won't let me see the landmarks. Oh, that's right. It's the Burgrave Palace, which lets the HRE build 5 infantry at a time. So definitely useful for all-in plays, or perhaps just strong infantry plays, where you know you're going to need those barracks anyway. Well, you might as well produce 5 at a time then. So the Knight of Capoch trying to drive away the scouts here. If it gets its charge back, which I think it will any second, it should actually kill this scout. But is this bugging out? I saw the lance pop back really briefly, but then go away. Maybe he's too close to actually get that charge attack back. Interesting, Hera's running to this side of the map. I don't think he'll get any love here, and may even bump into some spearmen. So spearmen and knights lurking in that stealth forest. Does take out that scout from Hera. So Capoch setting up now with a ram push, and we'll see what Hera is able to do about this. That Regnus Cathedral did finish. No relics in it just yet. Prelate headed in that direction. Prelate should be grabbing this relic at any second now. Capoch is poking in with his scouts and knight. Relic coming in now as well. So he should be able to get to that all-important 3 relic mark, generating 900 gold a minute. So this will put Hera in a pretty darn good position. I'm assuming Capoch is going to want to hit the castle age here. He's saving up quite a bit of food and some gold, and that will be a big waste if he does not spend it right away. Remember that it's really important to spend the resources you have early on. I hear a Wololo coming out. Actually kills that scout before before the Wololo has any chance to do anything. Knights from Capoch dancing around, hoping to take out this prelate. Briefly exposed maybe, but these are hardened spearmen. Wouldn't be surprised if they get to veteran spearmen in just a second now as well. Not yet going for that upgrade. Capoch really piling on the pressure here on Hera. This tower goes down. He's been driven off of his front gold. How does he respond to this? I think veteran spearman is a good first step. In the meantime, he is simply producing more spearmen. He does have a nice, safe woodline back here. It's true that he doesn't really need this gold, considering that he has 3 relics in that regnance. So, possibly assuming, going with that, right? That's 150 gold every 20 seconds, right? That's pretty... No, sorry, every 10 seconds? Yeah, look at that. That's pretty nuts if you think about it. So Hera, I think he's pretty well positioned here. Adding a barracks, looks like he wants to have the infantry numbers to push this back. Knows his opponent can't have too many archery ranges. I was going to say, Capoch can probably switch to archers if he chooses, but is actually adding another stable now. So it looks like these extra barracks from Hera are the right play. Hera looks like he's absolutely set here for the mid-game. To be honest, yeah, I don't see, unless Capoch is able to just... Capoch still hasn't clicked up to the castle age, so I don't really see how he's going to be able to hold off, or rather push through Hera here. Hera now about to get veteran spearmen, which will be a nice leg up, and he can afford to lose the front of his base. He's up by an age. He's okay with that. Going to try to burn down some of these rams now. Landsknecht's coming out. Interesting play. And a knight. Really mixing it up here as Hera. Landsknechts are, people have been finding, are really useful to just mix into a larger force of troops. So these spearmen will be taking a lot of hits, doing a lot of damage against knights, and meanwhile Landsknechts will be very strongly countering both the spearmen and the rams of his opponent. Let's try to keep an eye on... Yeah, like doing area of effect against all these spears. Look at these things go down. Absolutely massacring the spears of his opponent here. Hera in such a commanding position. I mean, I don't think the military force exists to actually push through this. Hera's now going to destroy the retreating rams of Capoch. Canadian doing such a good job here. How does Capoch respond to this? I can't help but feel like he should have had more troops earlier, given the resources that he had, that perhaps he undercommitted to this attack. There's really no use in pushing that HRE position once they have the 3 relics that they need. Yikes, this is going to be so tough now. Landsknecht's spears, that knight pushing forward now from Hera. Hera right onto the attack, wasting absolutely no time at all. His goal here is to give this Royal Knight versus a knight. Now, keep in mind that Royal Knight is not upgraded. That being said, Royal Knights are just generally really strong and difficult to deal with. And I believe Chivalry is in from the French player as well. Am I wrong on that? We'll see if he heals. Doesn't seem to be healing, so I could be wrong on that. So, infantry now taking out that ram. Hera trying to give no time for Capoch, right? That's the goal here. He knows he has Capoch in a spot where he is at a disadvantage in terms of military. Getting onto Capoch's wood line as soon as he can. Prevent the wood income, and you really prevent any sort of tech switch, because you know you can't put down archery ranges, for example, if you have no wood. Even if you have the wood to put down the ranges, archers are so expensive for wood. So Hera doing such a good job here. Now taking a sacred site down the middle. More infantry coming up. We'll see if he has any plans here to mix up his play. Actually, I didn't see this. Capoch getting onto the back line of Hera. Nice raid on his villagers here. So Capoch doing what he can, but these Royal Knights, these Feudal Age Royal Knights, are not going to be a match against the veteran spearmen of Hera. No match at all. Starting to take out the stables of his opponent. Hera pushing really strongly here. Doesn't even need the rams. Oh, this is not a good battle for those knights. He's just trying to stall to get up the tower, but it's not going to work. Stable about to go down from fire damage. Probably loses the blacksmith next. Probably park over here, maybe where the town center can't shoot him. And we'll try to torch down that blacksmith. Does he have a blacksmith of his own? And does he have siege engineering? No siege engineering yet from Hera. We'll see if that's the route he chooses to go. But to be honest, I'm not so sure he needs it. He has the numbers. 22 infantry right here. Can take out buildings pretty darn quickly. More Royal Knights coming out now from Capoch. But Capoch just seems so far away from the Castle Age. Like, sure, his resources are starting to get there. But I can't help but feel like the timing is off and the unit composition is off. There's just no way he wins that battle. At best, he's trying to hold off Hera just for a little bit longer. But look at this. This town center is now full. Hera's going to push right through here. Idle even more villagers. Pushes right through to the back line of his opponent. There's no way Capoch can engage this force, so more villagers going down from him. Okay, another outpost going up from Capoch, trying to prevent his opponent from getting to this wood line. I'll be honest, even if Hera loses this army, I just don't see how Capoch can come back. Let's take a quick look at the actual counts here. Hera 40 economy, 30 military versus 44 and 2. So actually, stronger economy from Capoch, allegedly. Of course, a lot of them are currently idle in a TC, shooting with their bow and arrows. But militarily, all Hera has to do is keep Capoch on the back foot for the rest of the game, and he can start torching down buildings, prevent Capoch from ever building any more, but he won't need to because Capoch taps out. That's the game. Hera with a really strong HRE showing against Capoch, playing as the French on Lipany. Folks, this has been Paragon RG. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe for more videos, and I will catch you next time.